to another episode of LP4U. You've got myself, LLL, here, as well as Polydukes.
Yeah, that's me.
Polydukes says hi. There he is.
I'm just looking at the chat. I'm being good.
He's being good? All right, fantastic. So we have a very special guest with us today, don't we, Polly?
Absolutely. Very excited
The specialist.
about teaching more people this fantastic character, because I love playing this character online all the time.
That is right, everybody. We're doing a Bison night, and we have with us none other than ViewSonic, Dark-Sided Somniac. Welcome, man. How are you?
What's up? How you doing? I'm I'm a bit hot, and the weather's not that great, but
You sure are.
yeah.
Very good. No, it is quite disgusting at the moment. Very muggy. Melbourne weather. Am I right?
Yeah. Oh well,
Yeah.
we're here to play some games.
We are here to play some games. So, that's right. We're doing a Bison night tonight, so we'll go over a few things. We'll get myself, Polly to play. Sorry, I just saw what Tanuke said. Shouldn't Bison night be on a Tuesday? But yes, we're going to do the usual. We're going to get myself, and Polly. We'll jump into a lobby. We'll play some games. We'll talk about Bison. We'll talk about how to play Bison, the general-ish game plan, good buttons, what have you. And then we'll go into like the downsides of Bison, the weaker areas, and maybe how to approach playing against Bison in like a high-level type of thing. And then once we've finished with that, we'll move on to the lobbies. We'll invite you guys to come in. Hopefully, we've got some Bison players out there who want to come in and join us. Other than that, we'll just go with the usual lobby. All right, guys, let's get started. We'll get into a game with Som and myself. So, Som, a few questions for you. You've been playing Street Fighter for a little while, huh?
Yep. So I think over 10 years now. Because I started out with Third Strike in the arcades. But
yeah, right.
I wasn't really competing, but I was just playing for about 6 years of Third Strike. And then Street Fighter 4 came out, and decided that I hated the game. That I wanted to keep playing it. And then eventually it got good. So
yeah,
really
right.
enjoyed my time playing it. And now we're on to Street Fighter 5, so I've lasted 3 generations.
That's a fair effort. So, you've been around for a while. You said you suddenly got good. Was there a moment where you realized, oh, I'm actually good at this game now?
It wasn't really a realization. It was more like back in the arcade days and when everyone used to play, frame data wasn't a big thing, and understanding hitboxes or hurtboxes wasn't a big thing either. It's generally like really talented players, at least in the West. In the East, there was knowledge of frame data, and that's I think that's what gave him the big edge in fighting games back then, because it was always like Japan was untouchable, because they actually understood the game better. And when Street Fighter 4 came out, a lot of people from Japan and overseas, we started to play against them a lot, and we saw that because it became a more international game. When you play against these people, you realize, oh, you actually need to learn these things that they're doing. You need to learn these option selects. You need to learn the frame data, when you can attack, when you can't attack, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, like, it started out with me just playing by feel, and then eventually picking up how to learn and like applying it to my game over the years.
Yeah, right. Okay. So, let's talk Bison for a second.
Yep.
So, Bison is an interesting character. He's a little bit different from a few of the others. So, first notable change from one of the other characters that we've played so far is he's a charge character, but also has motions.
Yes. So, your motions are Psycho Inferno, and your charge moves are Blast, Scissor Kick, and Head Stomp.
Yep.
And Head Stomp also leads into Devil's Reverse. Right,
which is a change from the Street Fighter 4 days a little bit.
Yes, it used to be 2 separate moves, now it's 1 move.
Yeah. Very good.
I would explain it like his dive kick. So technically has a dive kick, because I would say that that's generally what a dive kick does. Approaches from the air, changes angles.
Yeah, right. Okay, so and his dash is a bit interesting as well.
Yes, so there's something to know about his dash, that it's invincible but only during the middle.
Yeah, that bit where it
So-
disappears, right?
Yeah. So its practical uses for the invincibility are quite low. It's more like, you might have got lucky in a scenario where the dash worked. Like, there's one that I know. So if I do this string, dash after I do the blast.
Yeah.
And I'll show you what I mean. Just dash forward.
Yep.
Block this.
Yep.
Now dash forward.
Oops.
Time
Too
it
slow?
right.
Oh, no, after the blast.
Yeah, after the blast. So yeah, see?
Wow.
So you can actually dash through a normal, but it's kind of gimmicky in that you can't really plan that in a lot of cases. That's just one that I know of.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but he does have a dash that kind of disappears. So sometimes you can get lucky and dash through something. The trade-off
Yeah.
is that it's extremely slow.
Yeah.
So it's kind of deceptive in the way that, it seems fast because he like teleports, but the total duration frames of the dash is like 23.
Wow. Which is quite a lot larger than most other characters who are around
Yeah.
16 frames.
Yes, the fastest character is 15, but on average everyone's about 17.
Yeah,
So,
right. So that's
Reactions-wise, you can easily react to this
Yeah.
dash and get a punish on it.
right. So
But,
yeah.
his, speaking of dashes, his back dash is actually decent, like covers a better distance, and since you don't have that many defensive options, you kind of want to use that as much as you can. It also helps when you're building space.
Yeah, right.
So to discuss the reason for the forward dash is to build space, not really to get up in someone's face. So like if you jump back, if you forward dash in, you've just regained all the space that you lost from jumping back.
Yeah, right. Okay. What are some of his notable buttons? Like ones that
So
you should...
pretty much Bison has a use for every button,
Yeah.
which kind of makes him pretty complete. His best buttons for anti-airing is his crouch heavy, which got improved. So this actually reaches behind him now.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, and
has upper body invincibility?
Yeah, so what they mean by that is they've reduced the hurt box around the top of his hand. So it used to be that you could attack his hand, and you could like lead to trades and all sorts of stuff like that. It made it unreliable as an anti-air because someone could like attack in the air above it and you'd get hit. So now it's kind of like where his fist is, you can't hit him. It's more like where his head is that's the more the hittable area.
Right.
Example, I'll let you jump here, like that.
Yeah.
So if you jump with like medium kick,
Right.
there's still you can get over the top of me,
Yeah.
but in that case you were pretty far over me. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So speaking of like his other buttons, we've got like medium punch, which is a really good poke, and you can kind of like buffer it into his target combo, which is that. So I'm not in a range to hit you, but say if you hit a button, I could hit your button and then go into the target combo.
Yeah.
Like that. So it's a good poke. You've also got stand medium kick, which is like a really good spacing poke. Like it's very similar to Karen's stand medium kick. So it's very strong, but it's not offensively strong. It's more like defensively strong. So you can use it to like quickly tap at people and build some frame advantage because it's like +3. It means you get the next attack.
Yeah, nice. Okay, so standing medium kick is also a good button. What else would you wanting to be pressed in neutral?
So neutral, I think his best button by far is not this, even though people will think it is. This is actually not that good.
Down forward heavy punch, right?
Yeah, this is what everyone complains about, but to be honest, it's a 18 frame startup move, and all of that, like up until the 18th frame, you can interrupt this move and hit Bison, right? So human reaction's about 12, but because of the input delay in the game, if you're seeing this move and then pressing a button, chances are you will get crush countered.
Yeah.
But knowing that this move kind of moves them forward in a specific range, you want to sort of be outside of that range, and then you can whiff punish Bison for throwing it out. So like if you threw it out here, I could hit you. Like that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so like whiff punishing it. So I'd say his best button was actually what I just used on you.
Heavy
So it's
punch?
actually a Stand Fierce. This
Yeah.
is a very good button with very good range. I liken it to like Chun-Li's Stand Heavy Punch, except for the fact that you can special cancel it. So you've got blasts you can special cancel into, which are all safe or plus, right? And now in AE, even the light blast is completely safe. So you've got light blast, which is -2, medium blast is -1, and heavy blast is +2.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So you've also
That's
got
pretty
your like a hit confirm punish would be either scissor kick to push them and keep them standing, or you could do like heavy punch inferno, which is like the max damage punish. You wouldn't do inferno as a buffer because it's really unsafe on block. Yeah.
Incredibly unsafe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So why would you want to leave them standing
So
as opposed to knocking them
against
down?
some characters, some of the weakness of Bison is that he's Oki game. He can't cover both wake ups very easily. So in some scenarios where you're versing a character that's very explosive and wants to pull off their V trigger comeback, you don't want to put yourself in a situation where you're guessing their wake up. So it's better to keep them standing then, because if they're standing, it means they don't get like a guess to wake up and like poke. For example, like I'm +3 after light scissors hits, so it's guaranteed to be my turn, right? So if I want you to take my next button, this is a guaranteed way to make sure that you'll either block or try to DP, but you're never going to be able to interrupt me.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So like keeping them standing is good against characters you can like bully.
Like a Balrog or someone like that who doesn't have the best defensive options.
Generally 4-frame characters like Alex, Birdie, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, right.
Well, generally against those ones you want to knock them down actually, because Bison has very good pressure on 4-frame characters and not so good pressure on 3-frame. So you want to keep the 3-frame characters standing and you want to knock down the 4-frame. Is a general rule.
Okay. Fair enough. Alright, cool, so...
So buttons-wise, the stand light kick is now considerably worse, but it's still a good, like, interrupt because it's 3 frames.
Okay.
So it's good to use as your fastest button. It still has a purpose. And for being that punch, it's rewarding to punish people.
Yeah, right.
There's actually a buff in AE as well that makes stand line punch like a lot better than it used to be.
Yeah.
Which I can show in a second. Here.
No worries.
We need like the training mode, online training mode.
Oh man, that would be absolutely the best, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Alright.
So yeah, there's a whole strategy around all of these buttons and how you use them. So I'd say like Bison is a very straightforward and linear character in the goal that he wants to achieve, but what you have to do to achieve it is very complex.
Yeah, right.
Because you don't really have 100% like a 50-50 mix-up where it's really rewarding for you, like an Abigail, how you do command grab or you do meaty. With Bison, your throw gives you a little bit of damage, but your combos do more damage. The goal is to corner people, basically, so that they can't get out of the situation you put them in. So yeah, talking about his light punch. So a buff that they added now is... Sorry. It combos into Light Inferno.
All right.
It didn't used to do that. So the timing of it is a bit quick. But now you actually, because you can knock them down with that, you get a really good setup off Light Inferno, as opposed to what you used to do with Blast. So, for example, I'll show you what we did before AE was Jab Jab Blast, but it doesn't combo anymore unless it's counter hit. So if you use like crouching normals, you have to do like, don't block this part, but you have to do like tap tap into scissor kick.
Right.
Or you can go light Inferno. If you combo.
Oh, that works. Yeah.
Yeah, like that. Or you can even do like in neutral. If I'm buffering a button, I can do like stand light punch into scissor kick,
Right.
which also combos now because scissor kick got faster.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So buttons wise, I didn't talk about crouch medium punch, but this button is also very good in neutral because you can buffer it into a safe poke, which is like blast, and that's totally safe.
That's medium blast, isn't it?
Yeah. You can actually combo medium to medium blast and medium to light blast. Medium to heavy blast doesn't combo unless it's a counter hit, but it's also +2 on block, so it allows you to attack again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in his buttons, you mainly want to be using a neutral: stand medium punch, stand medium kick, crouch medium punch, and stand heavy punch. And you want to use your lights to stop dashes. You want to use crouch heavy punch to anti-air.
Okay.
There's also like in the neutral scissor kick, because it's 11 frames now. It's like really good to catch people walking because you can't react to this.
Yeah.
You can block it, and it's punishable on block, but the goal is to space it so that you don't get a punish. Like that's like if I'm to stand, I'll show you what I mean. If I'm to stand here and I do light scissor kick, try to punish me with light punch or light kick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So my -4 move is now totally safe.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at that.
So with Bison, it's very important to get your spacing, so you know when to do technically an unsafe move, but because of spacing makes it safe.
Yeah, right. Interesting. Very,
And then
interesting.
after, because I built the frame advantage off that +3, I can attack again, and I can, if you want to press buttons, I can punish you for pressing buttons and push you to the corner. Like that wasn't too many sequences and you're already in the corner.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So the corner is where Bison's the strongest because you can't walk out of his pressure, you can't jump away, you can't do a lot of things, and I can make your buttons whiff more easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So speaking of pressure,
Yep.
corner Bison being scary as hell. What are some, like, just a basic pressure string? Because I know everyone freaks out about Bison in the corner. What should a Bison be looking for?
So it's specific to 3 frames and 4 frames. Probably should have got you to kill me this round. That's all right.
It's all right. We can talk about it and move on.
So there's a few strings for Bison that will prevent people from pressing buttons, and that's generally you want pressing buttons, and you want to punish them from pressing buttons. And when they don't press any buttons, you want to build up the gray life so they want to press buttons.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Bison wants you to do something. If you don't do anything, you're probably going to die over time because, like, I'll just show you quickly the idea of gray life for Bison. So if I were to do this, for example, look at how much you just lost from blocking. And you could have potentially lost that gray life as well, right?
Yeah.
And that's just because you sat there and didn't do anything, right? Now, there's an even more extreme case of that. Is like I do this, I get in with that. Sorry, one sec.
All right.
It's lagging.
Sure.
Yeah, it's okay. So don't press anything here. Just to show you what I mean. So if I do this, into that, and then I throw you.
Yeah.
Like you lost a ton of life when you were just blocking for most of that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how Bison can exist in this game without a command grab, because all of his buttons build white life, right? Like if I do mediums on you, look at you're losing white life already.
Yeah,
right?
wow.
If I do a heavy, you're using white life, especially because this range where I do heavy, and you try to attack back with like a medium or specifically a medium, try to attack back after this. See, you whiff.
Yeah.
So my buttons kind of space me at a range where I have the next option. Even though I'm -6 here, I could do this. Like so say you do stand medium kick after I do heavy punch.
Yeah.
You actually So it's all about like spacing things out so that something that's negative actually becomes plus. And there's also ways around preventing people from pressing buttons. So for example, press your light kick after I do this. After it. Sorry. I was just trying to get close.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Good way to kill some time. Round 2.
So for example, Bison crouch medium punch is +1.
Yeah.
So if you press light kick here, and I press light punch, try to do it as fast as you can. yeah, we'll trade, yeah? But
Yeah.
I can do light kick and I win.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or I can do, I think, I'm not sure if this works or not. Press light kick after this. Yeah, that
Yeah.
interrupts. Yeah. So
Cool.
basically, after medium punch, I'm +1, but my light kick will interrupt anything you press, right?
Yeah, right.
So that's a frame trap to stop you from pressing something. So when you don't press something, I can do multiple mediums.
Yeah, right. And then that
And-
builds up the grey life.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the thing about that is some people might say that's quote fake pressure.
Yeah.
But you can't react to that difference because it's
No.
yeah, you can't see that I'm going to press a light kick or if I'm going to press a medium punch, right? Like
No,
you're not
not at
going to
all.
know. And if I hit you, the reward for me hitting you is I get a knockdown and I get to pressure you, right? If you choose to say I'll play it safe, then
Sorry, I'm just trying to take the round.
okay. just build me down to a certain yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
So block this, and I'll just show what I mean. So
Yeah.
Bison can do light into light, and you can't interrupt that.
Yeah.
You can if you have a DP, but it's a different story.
Yeah.
You can do light punch into crouching medium punch, and that's an anti 3-frame string as well.
Yeah.
Against 4-frame, you can do light punch, medium punch, enter into crouch, medium punch. So that's why he's even stronger against 4-frame character.
Yeah, right.
So I can show you something that's really strong against a 4-frame character. So just
Yeah.
block this and press your. Don't press anything just to show
Light
what
punch?
it is first.
Okay.
Yeah. So I go like this, and that's all something you can't interrupt with 4 frames.
Really?
Yeah. So
Right,
if you try to
I'll-
press a 4-frame light punch
Punch up?
after I press my crouch, after I press my down forward heavy, 4-frame
Yeah.
light punch. Yeah. Yeah, that'll
Yeah,
hit.
right.
Yeah. And then I can get stuff like. Sorry. Oh, the range is quite off there. But
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. I'll knock you down and then I'll do that same string. So
Yeah.
wake up mashing a 4-frame. So
Yeah.
quick rise.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. So you
Right.
get to that as a combo. Light into medium, medium. And against 4-frame characters, that's actually
That's cool.
a block string as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
Whereas
Yeah.
your reward for stopping 3-frame characters is mainly just like light punch, medium punch, scissor kick, or if you want to press light kick after I do stand light punch.
hmm.
Oh, kill me.
Oh, sorry. All right. I would kill you better, but I don't know anything with Bison.
Alright,
I'm sorry.
Do down forward heavy into crouch me. Yeah, that one. Might time out. Do dash up stand medium punch quickly. Oh no, he
Oh
dashed twice.
no! One too many dashes.
That's okay. We can go back to the training stage later.
Yeah, we just keep going.
I want to get one
Yeah.
of the many Bisons. I'm sure that will want to join to come into the lobby.
So do you
Yeah,
have any
for sure.
questions about any of the stuff that I've talked about so far?
No. So it seems like Bison's very frame trappy and tricking your opponent into pressing buttons, basically.
So you basically, as a Bison player, you've got a
Hmm.
few routes to victory.
Yeah.
The best route is you corner them, because then that limits their options in terms of like their normals. Like you can auto space your normals or space your scissor kicks, etc., so that they don't really have a retaliation.
Yeah.
And people hate being in the corner anyway, and it sort of prevents pushback on a lot of your normals as well.
Yeah.
So you can pressure even more when you've got them cornered. So that's the goal. Obviously, the main goal is to kill them. But yeah, if someone's playing really defensively, you can build up the white life on them. You can get in the throws. You push them to the corner. Then it doesn't really matter if they were playing defensive or not.
Yeah,
if
right.
someone's playing very aggressively, then you punish their mistakes for big damage, because the risk they're taking, like if they whiff a DP, you get a crush counter combo, and Bison's damage in this game is quite good. Like it's up there with some of the best. It's not Abigail, but you're still gonna really get hurt for doing stuff.
Yeah, no, of course.
So,
Alright.
so a lot of people ask, like, what do I do against Bison? I don't understand. But the answer is you have to adapt to your opponent because there is no one thing that you can do. You need to have an understanding of what buttons they're doing, how they're attacking you, and what your options are.
Yeah. I guess that was my next question. Was a lot of people do complain about Bison and what they should be doing. So I guess you got to figure out what type of Bison they're trying to play. Is it that frame trappy? Is it defensive, gray life building, and then
there are some
building?
Bison players that are very easy to deal with because they're very flowcharty, and they'll have like a set amount of options they always go to. And when you play someone like that, it's very easy to understand what your options are and what your risk reward is.
Yeah.
Because you know what they're going to do, right? So, like, if a Bison's going to dash at you and you know they're a dashing kind of Bison, you just go, all right, in this situation, all I need to do is wait. They're going to dash at me or they're going to try something silly to get in, and I'll punish it and I'll get a full combo. Because a lot of, like, Bisons online, a lot of people below Diamond, for example, they'll try to get stuff that is not very good. So, like, the online meme is like Bison does dash up stand heavy kick and then the person gets crush counted, right?
Yeah, right.
But frame wise, the total amount of frames for that to happen is 28.
Wow.
Right? So if you're getting hit and crush counted in 28 frames, you did something wrong.
You should be able to react to that.
Yeah. Actually, I think it's even more than that, sorry. Because stand heavy kick is longer.
Dashes... Yeah.
It's 23. It's nearly up in the 30s.
That's quite a long time in terms of fighting game. Frames. Yeah. All right. So we're going to open the lobby up, and people will be able to come in and play. It can be anyone watching the stream. If you have Street Fighter 5, come in, join us in the lobby. We'll get to play against hopefully some people who want to learn Bison. Otherwise, we'll just get some people on who need help, and hopefully Somniac might know a thing or two about Street Fighter and will be able to help us.
A couple of things I want to see. I want to see L get some specific help with with Bison, because I think he's enjoying Bison quite a lot. I also want to see some kind of matchup knowledge kind of things, and that kind of thing too. I've got Statics who will come by, but he's going to be around in 10 minutes. So if L wants to be first, once there's some people in the lobby, the password is 2580. It's under LLL, WP LLL.
Yes, WP_L_L.
First two, character select on, etc, etc.
So the maths for the dash, so I was off by one. His dash is actually 22 frames in total. And his stand heavy kick is 9 frames, so someone doing a dash up stand heavy kick is 31 frames. So you shouldn't get hit.
No, that is a lot of frames.
But that's not taking into account ranked lag, where dash in anything just it's like 5 frames.
a lot of people have this excuse about online, saying that like, oh,
no,
don't
ruin my dreams. Don't ruin my excuses.
But the same people that have that problem have it offline as well, right? Like if you can't react to Bison's dash online, you're probably not going to react offline.
Yeah.
It's still a lot of time, right? Maybe I'm talking if the connection is stable enough, then it's fine.
Yeah.
But obviously any character can be good when, well, I think Dowsum's like the best character with lag because you literally can't see his teleports, right?
Yeah.
Whereas Bison's teleport is kind of like, if the game lags, you get to see it a bit longer.
Yeah.
Whereas like a character like Vega or Akuma, when they're walking in lag, it actually skips the frames and they start teleporting by walking, and that's like way better.
Teleport walking.
But it's a rare thing anyway. I think people over exaggerate how laggy things are.
No, definitely. As much of a meme as it is with the Street Fighter 5 online, it's not the worst I've ever played.
So, alright, Sam, let's play for realties.
Alright.
I will play Bison, play whoever.
Who do you want me to play?
You know,
If you want me to play Bison, you might not learn so much.
no, I was just gonna say, maybe someone who would be good in that kind of footsies range, or...
As your Corinne, Som.
Corinne,
I was playing her before, actually.
yeah, Corinne or Nakali.
I think Akali is a character that Bison can handle, but it can also be quite difficult because of his jump-ins. So, like, you have to be pretty on point to fight Nakali. Like, I've lost before because someone jumped at me a bunch of times and then corners you and get into the command grab mix-up. I think Karen's a match where Bison is favored because he pokes better than she does.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
and the damage conversions in neutral actually, unless you get Tenkos and stuff, but off like max range pokes, Bison has better conversions. Karen's more offensively better up close though.
Okay. Just while we play.
Hey L, put your mic closer to your face.
Oh, sorry. Just while we play, there
That's
is one thing that I wanted to talk about that we didn't talk about earlier. Is his V triggers?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So he's got a new V trigger. Which one do you prefer at the moment?
I change depending on the matchup and the player.
Yeah. Right.
So VT2 has a command grab, right? So you'd think that the best part about it is actually the command grab, but I think the best part about it for me is actually the Psycho Crusher. Because the Psycho Crusher can be used in like zoning.
Yeah, right.
Fireballs.
Alright.
Oh, try to jump it.
Oh, goodness.
Oh. Oh, nice. That's the thing, since you can't like poke and anti-air, you need to make a conscious decision about when you're gonna anti-air.
Yeah, right. It's not like Akuma where I can just like...
You can't like throw something out. They say that was a good anti-air.
Yeah, it's because I was looking for it because we're talking about it. Whoop. See, that was an Akuma back heavy punch.
Back heavy punch? Yeah.
Yeah, gets me every time. Oh no.
So it's like when Bisons pick V-Trigger 2, they really want to land the command grab, so they become a bit predictable.
Yeah. It's cool.
Yeah.
Why would you not want to do it?
Oops. Tried to anti-air with light punch.
Habits.
Yeah.
Dav God wants
nice.
to know if Bison's target combo can ever be used. The one.
Yeah. It's actually
The-
really good in some matchups.
The medium punch
So,
down
like,
forward heavy punch.
against, explaining to LLL before in the trainee mode that you can use it as a poke where you buffer the down forward heavy, and depending on the normals, it can actually like combo into the target combo, and you get the +2 situation, so you can attack again. It's also very useful against like long range normals that have a lot of whiff time, like Geef Stand Heavy Punch. You can use it to whiff punish it from like really far away. So I think it's a pretty good move. In season 1, it was more rewarding because it actually led to like a decent combo, but it wasn't good on normal hits, so you could only get it on counter hit. So yeah, I'd say the main thing is probably anti-airing.
Yeah.
Like
That's-
my Karen's not that good. I've just done survivor mode, so I'm just like basically just trying to jump at you to get these situations where I can do my Tenko cancel. That is basically the only thing I know with it.
Yeah.
And I'm just doing standard attacks, so
It's jumping at someone is surprisingly
effective. Yeah.
effective in this game with some of the anti-air options that some
Yeah.
characters have.
So if you were anti-airing properly, I definitely might not be able to use Karen.
I can see you jump, and then I go to press back heavy punch, and then I go, wait, no, that is 100% wrong.
So after a throw, you get down forward heavy as your pressure.
Yes, I was gonna do that, except I expected you to EXDP.
Ah, okay. If you expect me to EXDP, you can like whiff a medium punch, and it makes it look like you've pressed a punishable button.
Yeah,
like a bait.
alright, that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
By the end of the night, I want an explanation of all of Bison's jumping attacks.
Sure. I was saying before, they're like a dive kick. Devil's Reverse is basically a dive kick. So you can deal with it
okay.
similar to a dive kick.
It's a lot worse.
A lot
this
of
season.
people fall into the trap of normal Devil's Reverse is still good, still like it was
Yeah.
in season 1, but I think it's actually slightly better this season for normal
Oh, right.
Devil's Reverse because light anti-airs got a nerf. So
Yeah.
because light anti-airs are worse, it's actually easier to get away with normal Devil's Reverse. But
Yeah.
if people anti-air with their proper anti-air buttons, it's not very good. But there's also angles you can do it at where the anti-air buttons don't work,
Yeah, right.
like a dive kick.
Okay. Cool.
Well,
so,
now that Som and Case are fighting,
hmm,
Case wants to see some big frame traps.
yeah. What-
So
what I
I'll
was
do the
gonna ask-
opposite because he's looking for it.
What I was actually going to ask is play Bison and kind of talk us through what you're doing.
Yeah.
And Kesero plays Bison as well. Cool. But yeah, talk us through what you're doing and kind of explain. I mean, you don't have to go into super tech revealing detail, but just like an idea of what you're trying to achieve while you play.
Sure. So in this situation, I'm just building meter because he's not attacking. I'll sneak in a Devil's Reverse, build up some frame advantage, and then push into the corner. That time he guessed what frame trap I did. Oh, dashing around with heavy kick. So this is where I want him to be in the corner because I can land
Yeah.
some ambiguous stuff.
Right. Oh. So that doesn't hit on the other side, so people should not be afraid of a cross-up with that, right?
Which was it? Sorry.
EX Devil's Reverse.
No, it doesn't hit on the other side. His V-trigger one does.
Yes. Oh.
So the main reason to use V-trigger 1 is that you get better combo extensions into a hard knockdown. So that's the main attraction of that V-trigger. You can actually extend into more damage in combos, but you don't get the hard knockdown, which I don't think is as good as making sure your opponent can't like do something about the situation you put them in.
Yeah, right.
So Case tried to do down forward heavy after XDR, but now it's actually negative. I mean, it's +7, so down forward heavy
Right.
doesn't work. In that case, I thought Case might do a V reversal, so I cancelled my medium punch into Devil's Reverse to punish the V reversal.
Yeah, right. Oh, that parry.
So in this scenario, Bison's on low life. He wants to slide or DX Devil's Reverse to get in.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. So That situation, my normal anti-airs don't work because he's jumping over me in a scenario where if I did land, you're correct in time. So the situation is you wait for the jump over, jump back light punch, you're guaranteed to beat them. So it's kind of like a desperation thing that he's trying to jump over me. At low level, that might work a lot because people aren't looking for the jump. Yeah.
Round 1.
So, just quickly, Big Bong Hitter 24 asks, do you use a pad or a stick?
I play on stick because I played mostly in the arcades.
Yeah, back in the Third Strike days.
Yeah. So you can play on pad. I just don't like playing charged characters on pad because it like hurts my thumbs. So what I'm picking up on is cases like trying to interrupt a lot of what I'm doing on a regular basis. So I'm seeing a lot of counter hits. So I'm just trying to keep it a bit tight, make him basically kill himself.
Yeah, right. So you know he's looking for that V-trigger activation.
Well, he's basically looking to interrupt what I'm trying to do, right? So he doesn't want to take the bigger buttons. He wants to like take his turn while I'm attacking him. And because of that, I get to land some damage on him because he's trying to interrupt me. And in this case, he's blocking more, so I'll go for a throw.
Damage is disgusting.
It's beautiful. So yeah, this is exactly what you're talking about, keeping them in the corner, building up that great
And
life.
when you get a life lead,
Yeah.
it's a good idea to make your opponent make mistakes. Because it's effectively their turn to try to attack. Like, you don't have to always attack someone.
Oh.
Oops. Oh. Yeah. So a lot of situations there, I was just waiting to make the mistake, right? Like I was very passive until it was my turn, and because of that, I knew the risk reward was in my favor. Because if I'm making him make errors, then I just need to capitalize on the errors. If I make a couple of mistakes, it's still all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but mostly it's like I want him to come to me once I'm winning, because there's nothing he can do on the other side of the screen if he's losing. When he starts trying to build meter, it gives me the opportunity to either attack him or build my own meter.
Okay.
So it's basically just the idea of like, once you get the life lead, it's up to the opponent. If they're making it hard for you to attack, there's no point to just keep on attacking.
No, that makes really good sense.
Can I get Puck and well, I was gonna say Puck and L to play.
Hello.
But Puck playing Storm's good enough anyway. Who's that?
This
Who's
is me,
speaking?
Puck Mongo.
Fantastic.
It's a puck.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I can hear you. Stream,
First-
can you hear him?
It's the
Of course
first
you
time
can.
I've heard Puck's beautiful voice since OHN.
Welcome, Puck.
Welcome. Hey, how's it going?
What's up?
Yeah, not too bad. So, Som, I'm not sure if you've watched before, but what we'll do is we'll get Puck to play a few games, see how he's going, watch his gameplay, and try to give him some tips and tricks and just some general ideas for improvement.
Yep.
So, Puck, you specifically requested you wanted to be on the show. I'll let you finish this round and then I'll ask you questions. I'll give you that mind space.
Can I say the first thing I don't like as a Chun-Li player is throwing out the fireball up close if it's not part of some sort of block string or frame trap? Like if it's just raw.
There's a philosophy around that, that a fireball is actually harder to react to close. Even though it's dangerous to throw it out, it's unlikely that I will react because it's up in my face, right? It does put you at a risk of bleed though.
Yeah. Whoa. Is that a cow color Chun-Li costume? Like, is it milk? I don't know. Anyway, I'll leave that behind.
Nice anti-air.
Oh, good anti-air. I love it.
Bison
That command grab, I had a good idea that it would work just by the fact that he had low life, but it wasn't a great decision because he had a ton of meter he could have worked up with expending bird kick or super.
Critical art.
Yeah, or jumped it. Yeah.
Round 1. Fight.
So at the start there, a lot of Chun-Li players like to throw out stand heavy kick because it stops people from jumping. But I know that my crouch medium punch beats the stand heavy kick every time, so I buffer it into Inferno.
Yeah, right.
So I'm guaranteed to get a knockdown at the start if they bother to do that.
And that's a really interesting thing that you know that exact situation. So that's something that you've noticed Chun-Li players will like to do. And you've gone into the lab, you've put yourself at that position, you've got her to press heavy kick, and you've figured out what you can do instead.
Yep. So what they do is when the heavy kick doesn't work, they usually throw a fireballs, which I try to jump at the start, but it didn't do anything. Technically, it could have anti-hit me. But that's kind of a read you can do at the start against Chuns. I wouldn't recommend it, but sometimes you can get those situations.
Yeah.
That's a good
so that leads back into like what we've been saying over the past few weeks, which is if you find something that you don't know how to deal with, or you find a character or a player will do something a lot in a certain situation, you can take that situation into training mode, into the lab, recreate it, and figure out how to beat it, which is exactly what Som was just talking about. You realize that the Chun-Li likes to press the heavy kick at the start to catch jumps or fireballs from some characters, and he's gone into lab, he's set up that same situation, and found that crouching medium punch bumped into, what was it, the Inferno?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think
Bison wins.
I think Puck accidentally didn't do an EX legs at the very end there, that crush counter.
Yeah. I was kind of trying to look for the super there. I was being a bit greedy because I wanted to kill with super.
Oh man. So, Puck.
I'll jump backwards. Oops.
Yeah, so what
yeah,
are some things that Chun-Li can look out for against Bison?
So, Chun-Li is a very footsie-based character. So, by footsies I mean she uses a lot of the normals to get damage. The mistake a lot of Chun-Li players do is they overextend. So they try to oppress their opponent just like a Season 1 Chun-Li. And that doesn't really work anymore because of the nerfs to Chun.
Yep.
So you want to kind of approach the match similar to how I would approach it, right? You want to try to make errors happen. You want to try to space yourself out so that when you do a button, the next button you do won't be immediate, and they'll try to poke afterwards, but you'll then hit them for poking.
Okay.
So a good example for Chun-Li is her stand medium punch is really good range and very fast. And it's also a character that you have to recognize when you hit them. Like when you hit them is when you get to attack again, because you build up frame advantage.
Yep.
So say if I just hit you with a stand medium kick, I know that my next attack is +3. And generally people's reaction after they get hit is to block because they don't want to get hit again, right? With Chun-Li, you can kind of, if someone's choosing to always do something every time they get hit, that's kind of a tell that you know what buttons to press.
Okay.
Yep.
If
And
they're
that
not
comes
getting
back-
hit, so if they block afterwards, you know you can be a bit more liberal with what you do next.
Yep.
Yeah. And that kind of comes back to the previous lessons that we had in the previous LP4U episodes, where it's about paying attention to what your opponent is doing and changing your game plan accordingly. If they keep doing the same thing over and over again, that makes them predictable and means you will be able to adjust and beat them in that way.
So I think like the way I like to look at it as there are differences in risk reward for a lot of characters.
Yeah.
So the bigger characters, like the grappler characters, can get away with a lot more guesses to try to understand what their opponent is doing. They can make more errors without dying, and then choose based off that what their next big bet will be. Whereas a character like Chun-Li can't really make those errors, so you need to be a bit more precise about what you're trying to do, because you can't be like, well, I got hit by that combo, but I should be fine because I've got a million life and a bunch of options, right? Generally with Chun-Li, you want to avoid things that are going to get you killed.
At sort of the gold to lower plat levels, doing a back medium punch on block, and then delaying a standing heavy punch, as long as you're at sort of the max range of standing of back medium punch at the beginning, will work most times. At least until they learn not to press a button after forward back medium punch, because it's 0 on block.
Yeah. So in this situation, what Puck needs to do is look for the dashes, convert into EX legs, make sure he anti-airs the jump in. Yeah, that was a good time to do EX spinning bird, because the Bison player wants to do his mix-up. A smart Bison will either do that or like represent a block and then do it, so you won't think about doing the spinning bird.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the dashes, you need to really interrupt them, because that's where, like, if Bison's allowed to dash, he becomes like an S tier character, because he gets in on you and he gets to play his game. Because Bison is insanely good up close. You have to make sure he's not up close.
What's her forward heavy kick? Like 5 active frames at the moment?
Yes, but it's very, very slow. So you have to kind of set it up in scenarios like after certain hits. Oh, that was a good choice. It worked out. So this scenario, you want to keep Bison in the corner.
Oh, no.
It was a good choice because he had V-trigger. But actually, Bison gets a meaty after command grab if you just do dash up light punch. So technically, he should have dashed up to light punch to meaty there, rather than stand back. But probably baiting a EX spinning bird. But still, if you dash up and block and he EX spinning birds, you get the full combo. You win the round.
Round 1.
Yeah. So if he does the dash and standing light punch, that's a meaty after the command throw.
Yes.
So in the corner, you could get something a little bit more devastating, right?
Well,
Or
the command grab is a hard knockdown, so you're guaranteed the exact same amount of frame data every time.
Yeah.
So to beat 3
closer.
frames, you want to always do dash into light punch. After that, you can choose like your variable block string. Like you could do like stand light punch into stand heavy kick if they're delayed throwing, or if they're pressing a button delayed. Or you can do like stand heavy punch into down forward heavy punch if they really don't want to press a button, but they might be like antsy to press button.
Yeah. Right.
So like a lot of what Bison's offense is large frame traps accompanied by like tight frame traps. Just trying to feel what your opponent's defense is.
And make adjustments.
Yeah.
Cool.
So like if I play person A and I play person B, the play style of A and B could be totally different for what I attack with. It just depends on what I feel like the opponent might do. For example, like that down forward heavy punch into stand heavy punch. Down forward heavy punch is only +1. So stand heavy punch is like 11 frames. That's like a 10 frame gap.
Yeah.
So if you made a read on that, Chun-Li could have like attacked with a heavier button, but Bison could have also done a quicker button there.
Yeah. Oof. So it's just like a big paper scissors rock game with Bison.
Sort of, except that blocking is still a thing.
Yeah. No. True.
Yeah, so I think a very important thing in this game is understanding when you should not do things, right? Like when you should not go for reads, when you should decide like,
And Bison win.
do I really want to be betting the whole game on this one guess,
Yeah.
right? That's just my perspective as a defensive player. I know some people are like, well, if it worked, it worked. But I'm all about the consistency of the option.
Round one.
Yeah.
So
Well, that makes
sometimes it's the correct choice to make a read. Sometimes it's a very bad choice and you lose because of it.
Oof. Oh, good idea.
Yeah, Chun-Li's back hard kick is very good now as an anti-air. But you really want to check these dashes
Yeah.
because he's dashing a lot.
What's the most effective anti-Bison dash for Chun-Li, do you think? What are you more afraid of? X legs or back heavy punch?
So a back heavy punch is more preemptive. It's not really a reaction. Most light punch conversions work against the dash. So say if you were to do like crash light into spinning bird. I mean crash light punch because you don't really get anything off light kick. So with Chun-Li, for example, you don't want to go for your 3 frame. You want to go for your, which is more than enough to stop the dash. So you can do light, crouch, medium into spinning bird, and then you get the knockdown. Well, here's something that's very bad that a lot of people do, is they try to interrupt Bison with something that doesn't make a difference. So like Puck's been going to crouch light a lot. But Bison doesn't care about that. You just hit him twice and it was like 60 damage. If he correctly meaties you, he gets 200.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got to be sure that what you're interrupting with actually makes a difference. You don't want to just interrupt just to get him off you. You want to interrupt with something that's damaging.
And
Yeah,
Bison
right.
win.
Because like pressing light doesn't do anything. It's
Or-
like it stops the pressure, but you don't get a combo, you don't get a knockdown.
Or for Chun-Li at least to create a knockdown situation, so crouching light kick, crouching light punch will go into light spinning bird kick, so you can have a really good knockdown afterwards.
Yeah, exactly.
Or if only Puck had been practicing since Japan Evo, hit confirming crouching medium kick into medium spinning bird kick like MOV. Did you see that?
Okay, you didn't pick Bison. Sorry. I was gonna pick like show another character fighting Bison, but picked Rashid.
MOV is not human.
I think that's a trademark of a good Chun-Li player, so if you can manage to charge to do spinning bird kick as often as you can, that's like a key thing to playing her because you get the knockdown and you get the pressure. And you want to do as many hit confirms as you can.
Have you seen him build a meter with 2 spinning bird kicks after a stun?
Yeah.
Alright.
So sorry about this
So-
intermission with Kyle.
That's all right. I'll get you to talk more about again what you're thinking because we all know Kesura's got a really good Rashid. So can you talk about what you're trying to achieve, how you're trying to achieve it?
This match is a strategy-based match for Guile.
Yeah.
You basically want to keep Rashid out. And you want to force him to make like errors. Errors like running into your strings.
Yeah.
Oh, oops. That was meant to be a flash kick that came out with the bazooka knee.
Oof.
Yeah. So Guile controls like the matchup in terms of sonic booms and stuff. Like Rashid has some answers, but they are sort of reads.
Yeah. Right.
What do you think of Rashid at the beginning of Arcade Edition?
It's very good. I don't think he's like broken or anything.
Just annoying.
It's very solid.
Oh. Just do it.
So in that situation, when you're winning and you've got V trigger bar, knocking them down in the corner is actually very advantageous because you actually get a setup off it.
Yeah, right. So, were you looking for that heavy whirlwind there?
Yeah, I was
just
considering
like
flash kicking, yeah, because Guile can do that. But I thought rather than that, I'll just play it safe and jump out of the corner.
Fair enough. Oh. Right, so being in the corner against Rashid, very scary. He has a lot of pressure. What's your go-to, or what's your idea of how to deal with that?
In that scenario, I basically just stayed put for the majority of that, and just took the pressure. I wanted him to sort of make a mistake there. Yeah, like that. So I'm actually fine with being in the corner because it doesn't really change it if he's not next to me. If he's next to me, I have, but it's just like I'm it. Like range-wise, nothing's really changing. He has to take my sonic booms. He has to make risks and reads to do the roll or to do V reversal or to jump.
Yeah, right.
I think that's like a match where Guile's pretty favored as well.
That's alright. Yeah, no, it makes sense. Definitely makes sense.
I'm going to jump out of the lounge so that other people can come in.
I was just going to say, Puck, who do you want to play?
I want to see him play. I want to see him play another Bison.
So I can jump back and you two can play LLL.
Yeah, sure.
Alright, I'll have one more and then I'll jump out.
Yeah. So the main thing you want to do when you're interrupting Bison strings is don't go for light,
Okay.
unless you're going to confirm into a combo. Because it's tempting to just like press your fastest button, but it's not effectual enough to stop Bison from frame trapping you. Like you've successfully guessed a gap, right? But you've also given information.
Yeah.
And that's very dangerous because the Bison will go, you pressed a button there? Okay, I'm not going to do that gap anymore. I'm going to press the thing that stops you from pressing that button. And since you kind of like wasted the opportunity, the next time you go for it, it's going to be very risky.
Yep.
Interesting.
So the idea I have in fighting games is if you're going to press something, you have to assume it will work, right? Like it has to have a purpose. You don't just do something just because you feel like doing it. So like if you're pressing stand heavy punch in neutral, but it's like full screen, why are you pressing heavy punch, right? It could be simple as like you want the opponent to do something, but if it's against an opponent that could do a whiff punish or some kind of hit against you, it's a very bad heavy punch. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Round one.
Assuming so it's every button has the purpose. So like you see better players like whiffing light punch and that type of stuff in neutral. And that's them trying to get the other
baiting a
player
reaction.
to. Yeah.
So that scissor kick's actually -3. So you
right.
could have at least got a light kick there. Chun-Li's punish on it's not great without meter. That's actually a pretty decent challenge with medium kick. Yeah, definitely got an anti-air with crouch fierce there when she jumps, because Chun-Li is very floaty. You've definitely got enough time to crouch fierce.
Yeah, again, as I said before, it comes down to I go to anti-air with back heavy punch, and then my mind goes, no, that's wrong. And then by the time I've made that decision, oh.
All right. So I would block. Now's a chance. Oh, okay.
He pressed a button. Oh,
that could have gone. Well, I think he tried to jump just because you didn't see the counter hit. That's something important to realize as well when you play. What actually happened when you hit someone? If there was no counter hit, chances are they were jumping.
Nice.
I was actually trying to EX bird after that, but I think I missed
It
it.
must have come up as just an up then.
Yeah.
Oops.
The old carb special.
So down 40 fierce after this. Yep, hit him quick rise so you get a better setup.
Right.
So after he presses fierce, if you're within range, you want to press your fierce. Because you get to trade on the white left. And after her medium, you press your medium.
Yeah, her standing heavy punch
man.
is -5, I think, on block.
Yeah, so your fierce will always win that scenario. There you should have stupid. Now, stand heavy kick for punishes a reversal.
Right. Oh.
What are
Ooh.
you trying to do there? Jump?
Wake up super.
Ah,
I'm
okay.
just back.
Final round.
Here we go. Watch this. Ready?
Fight.
Ah, that didn't work.
So that scenario, Chun-Li did the stand heavy kick at the start of the round. You could have got away with crouch medium punch into Inferno into super. And that would have been a very huge punish for what he tried to do.
Yeah, dashing from Chun-Li. From a silver Chun-Li is always going to be a throw.
Backhand punch. Yeah.
Ah. What were you trying to do there?
EX doubles reverse.
Alright, very bad choice. Never do that. It's not a wake up
I think-
option.
Yeah. I think I saw someone do it once and it looked really cool.
Uh,
That's a cool thing to do.
it only works if the move didn't hit you meaty. And in that case, it was going to be a meaty.
Yeah.
Because you'll actually get crush count and you'll lose your meter.
Hmm.
Round 1. Fight.
So after you hit with crouch medium punch, you go into stand line kick, and then you'll get scissor kick.
Yeah, right.
So that's actually plus on block, the forward heavy kick from that range. So this is where it's kind of like you have to stand your ground. Now that you're out of the corner, you can push her back.
Yeah, right.
But he's playing very aggressive, so you kind of want to choose your right times to interrupt. Like block a bit, if he dashes up, then you punish the dash. Because it's okay to block, right? Like, if you're just blocking a couple of mediums, you really don't take that much damage. If you land like a counter hit because he dashed up or something like that, it's alright. Yep, punish. Ah. Crouch medium punch for that. Oh. So, I wouldn't be parrying any fireballs when she has super. 'Cause
Yeah,
she can
right.
actually super you for attempting the parry. Not anymore though.
Oops. Oops.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's alright.
So I'd say the main thing you need to improve with Bison is your anti-airs and also your combos. Because every time
Yeah.
you're landing a hit, you're not really getting anything off it. And if Bison doesn't get anything off his combos, it's very hard for him to win.
Yeah, right. I think my 30 seconds in completing the challenge modes is not enough for muscle memory.
Yeah. It's also very he has a lot of options for his combos. Like it's not always going to be like always do the max damage. You've got a
Yeah,
few
right.
choices about like which combo ender you want to do. And they all achieve different things. Like the blast combo ender, it pushes them away further. It also gives you a perfect opportunity to do another blast to do as a meaty, so you can guarantee they're not going to press any buttons in the corner. Scissor kick keeps them standing, so you can kind of like pressure them while they're standing and guarantee your string is tight. Inferno gives the best knockdown, and off Inferno you can even, on some characters, you get a jump in, which is like a SF4 style setup.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but it's not recommended against characters with DPs because they can react to the jump and then DP.
Yeah, right. I guess that makes sense. Got to be aware of that DP.
Yeah, so the way Bison plays is specific to the character he's fighting.
Yeah, right.
So if I'm playing Manat, for example, I know that after a knockdown I can jump, and she doesn't really have an option, apart from maybe super, in which case I would need to not jump. But every other time I can jump because there's nothing she can do that will like hit me out of my jump while she's knocked down.
Yeah.
So I can take full advantage of any knockdown I get and really abuse her. But same as a character like Alex. But if I'm playing a character like Nikali, if I jump, he's got a 3-frame DP, and I'm never going to be safe if I jump. It's a guaranteed reaction that you can hit me out of the air.
Yeah.
But if I play like Rashid, Rashid has a 6-frame DP. I can actually safe jump him, and I can jump and attack. And even if he DPs, I will block. If he doesn't DP, he will block.
Yeah. Okay. I guess that makes sense. You were saying earlier before we started the stream, or it might have been at the start, where Bison is one of those characters where knowledge is power.
Yeah,
where
definitely.
If you have like a lot of knowledge and understanding of what you're doing and the characters you're playing, Bison becomes very strong.
Yeah, especially say knowledge of the opponent and what options they like to pick.
Yeah, right.
There's a lot of people that say, oh, they just can't beat Bison, but they actually do beat other Bisons, but they say it to me. It's mostly because even if I teach them anti-Bison tech, I already know the answers to the tech that I've taught them. So
yeah, right.
So there's no one thing that's going to solve your problem against Bison. It's more like understanding your options, understanding the risk reward, and making good choices.
Yeah, of course. And I guess that in the end that applies to all characters and all players that you play.
There's definitely characters that you can kind of run your own game. And so like a good and a bad decision would come down to a guess, which is very hard to say it was the correct or wrong thing to do, because if it wins you the tournament, if it wins you the game, yeah, it was the right thing to do, right? But when you talk about consistency, say if you win one tournament, you come second in one tournament, but then you lose for the rest of the year, there's definitely something wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think a famous quote is like, I don't want to be good, I want to be lucky. I think that's the wrong way to look at it, because luck runs out, right?
Yeah, right.
If you're good, you'll win more than you lose.
Yeah.
You might win big once if you're lucky, but being consistent, you need to have knowledge, you need to be good.
No, that makes a lot of sense. Alright, so let's talk about what Case is doing right now with his Bison. So, and against Polly.
Yep.
Very competent.
So this
player.
match is probably about even, but only if Karen anti is probably. So
Yeah.
Karen's got a really good anti-air now.
Yeah.
Oh. So Karen's crouch heavy punch is now very reliable. That scissor kick's -5. That's +4. So when Bison does scissor kick and V trigger, so there's the win.
Oh no!
Spend the meter. No, what are you doing? Chip.
Oh yeah, it's me. Oh damn it!
Out. Wait. No. You want to chip out. Either one of you needs to chip out. Okay.
Oh,
So-
jeez.
Never be greedy.
Gotta say that meter, man. No,
Never
I'm
be
kidding. I'm kidding. I'm always a super user.
Oh, man.
So Karen's anti-air in this version is very much crouch heavy. It's just a bit slower. Yep, there you go, reliable anti-air. So Karen can control the jumping with her crouch heavy punch.
Yeah.
Which means that Bison can't like guess so much. So
Yeah, right.
as Karen, you kind of want to play a very neutral based game. This is more of an honest match, because both characters have just normals and pokes, and they don't have command grabs or anything like that. So I would say this is like an honest Street Fighter match. In the way that it's not going to be some kind of... It's not going to be very gimmicky. you kind of want to out footsie the other person. You want to poke against them. You want to punish dashes. You want to anti-air. So it's very core Street Fighter. So there, in the case where he dashed twice, Polyduk should have stopped him from dashing. Like, all of this is happening because the dash got through.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there as well. Like, he could have, Kisera could have lost the match from the dash, but now he has the potential to win. So you kind of want to, when he's got V-Trigger, he's very dangerous because he can dash through normals, because the invincibility gets better. So a lot of Bisons like to dash, right?
Yeah.
If you've got good timing, you can actually punish at the end of the dash. If you're doing it predictively, you'll whiff and he'll punish you. So I would suggest it's like something you do in training mode, or you practice against fighting at a Bison player. You don't want to panic and jump around a lot when he's activated V-Trigger. Like that's a lot of people's responses. They just start like jumping and trying to predict the dash rather than react.
Yeah.
When you can definitely react.
Yeah. Because the dash is still as slow. It just has more invincibility.
Yeah, it's got more invincibility frames. So you want to use your fastest buttons. You don't want to do something that could potentially whiff through the dash.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Kisera is doing a lot of what I was saying is the 31 frame trap, right? So dashing up into stand heavy kick.
The online Bison special.
Yeah. There is a reality where dash is good, but that's only after you've trained your opponent not to look for it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And that's something to speak about, is training your opponent. Would you want to expand on that a little?
Yeah, so as Bison's a very slow character, he doesn't cover a lot of space often, right? So you kind of can box him into a certain scenario and he kind of isn't a threat until he reaches a certain part of the screen. So what Bison players want to do is they want to close the distance.
Yeah.
And how do they close the distance? They've got Devil's Reverse, they've got Scissor Kick, they've got EX Scissor Kick, EX Blast, EX Devil's Reverse. And Dash, right? And Dash is actually the most punishable of all those options. But when you put everything in a wheelhouse of saying like, yeah, sure, Dash is 100% punishable at all times, but when you're looking for all the other things, it becomes more of a viable option. Especially when you consider down forward heavy punch as well. So down forward heavy punch is a normal 18 frames that's +1 on block, right? So it gets Bison in. The way you kind of want to use heavy punch, down forward heavy punches, you want to use it in a range where it doesn't whiff just like that. Because that was actually a very bad down forward heavy punch. Polyduk, if it was on in his game, could have whiff punished that down heavy punch, push him in the corner, end the whole match because of a bad whiff. Yeah. Right? So Bison wants to get into a walk up into a range where down forward heavy punch is useful, like this one.
Yeah. So do you want to be hitting with just the tip of down forward heavy punch? Or do you want to be hitting
that doesn't really matter anymore because they removed some of the ability for it to be meaty in AE. So before you could have like a +2 or a +3 down forward heavy punch. Now you can't really have that. So it's always going to be +1. I think at maximum it would be +2. So aiming for the tip of the down forward heavy punch is actually worse because even if you did crush counter, your options to do the combo are way worse. Like your stand heavy punch doesn't reach, so you can't convert.
Yeah, right.
So down forward heavy punch is a tool that is most effective in close-ish mid-range and after plus strings. So it's very good to take another turn and steal a turn. So say I do a stand heavy kick, which is +3, and I do a down forward heavy punch directly after. A lot of people will complain that like there's a huge gap there, right?
Yeah.
But the mentality of that is my stand heavy kick is +3. If I press crouch medium punch, if you do a 3 frame, you'll lose, right? Yeah. Then I get a combo. And say if I go into scissor kick, I get to attack again. If I go into Inferno, I get a good setup, right? So it's a bad idea to press a button there. That's universally a bad idea, right?
Yeah.
What I can do is, I know you're not going to press a button, so I'll go for down forward heavy punch, which gets me in range to throw.
Yeah, right.
Right? So then you go, well, you're pressing down forward heavy punch, I'm going to press a button. In which case I go back to pressing the frame trap.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all of this kind of happens in real time in the game, right? So that's like a strength and a weakness to Bison, because the weakness is, say, if you just never get in tune with your opponent, you never understand what options they're picking, you can lose.
Yeah. So Bison's a very mental character.
Yeah.
Not mental as in crazy, mental as in like you have to be switched on, paying attention
Yeah.
to what's going on.
So there are some like stupid, well, quote unquote stupid aspects of the character, but it's no more than what I would say other characters.
Yeah.
It's very rare to have a totally honest character in this game, right? So like everyone has some kind of dirt. It just depends how good the dirt is. Like Rashid, for example, he has the heavy punch into heavy hurricane, heavy whirlwind, and that's plus on block, right? But there's actually a gap there. And some characters have option selection. You can press a button that will punish him no matter what he does, but other characters don't have that. So Rashid can play a mind game of pressing like a heavy punch into the medium whirlwind or into the light whirlwind, which will counter hit you if you press a button. So it becomes like a mini mind game of like, if you don't press a button, he gets to attack again. If you do press a button, then you get hit if he does the counter.
Can I see Kadzao and Somniac?
After this one, he'll be up.
I want to see Kadzao's Manat or Dalsim, whoever wants to play against Som's Bison.
I really want Kadzao to be a Dalsim player. He's just so good. I was watching him play the other day. It was awesome. So much fun to watch.
So the thing about Dalsim compared to say Karen, if you're fighting Karen, the way you approach the match is different to how you fight Dalsim, right? So as a Bison player, you need to make more calculated risks than you do against Karen, because the reward for getting in on Dalsim is greater. Well, and your punishes for Dalsim for successfully defending against you aren't as big as what Karen has. So you can afford to take a little bit more risks, and it's kind of like the gameplay against Dalsim.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess that makes a lot of sense, just in the way the characters play. Alright, so... Oof. Again, if you don't mind, I'll get you to talk us through kind of what you're thinking and...
Yep, so basically that scenario is like... I screwed up my Punisher, but... that scenario that I put him in is in the corner where I absolutely want to be, because I can control what buttons he's pressing, like the spacing of what buttons I'm looking for. And when he presses the buttons, like, that's a good answer here against the Devil's Reverse. When he presses like Crouch Fierce, it can whiff, and then I get a full like combo against it.
Yeah. Alright, so you've got him in the corner now.
Yep. So Rishik can actually like escape the corner with his wall jump. If I'm reading it, I can like jump out. I mean, I can prevent it.
Yeah. So that was the use of that V-trigger dash, getting through his normals. Yeah.
Oop, I ran out of V-trigger and I tried to do it again. Dead. Yep.
Something happened, I was going to talk about it, but I forgot, because that was cool. So, which blast are you using? You're using
so it varies based off, like, what I'm trying to achieve.
Yeah.
So if I'm trying to, like, attack again, then, oops. If I'm trying to attack again, then Heavy Blast is a very good option.
Yeah. Because it's plus.
Yeah. If I think he'll press a button, then I can go for, like, in that example, right? So I did Heavy Blast. It's very visually difficult to know that I did Heavy Blast. The difference between me is like few of an animation. So a lot of people, after they block something, their initial response is to press a button. I'm plus 2 then. He tried to press a button. I press my medium kick, which becomes a 5-frame medium kick because of my plus 2. Yeah, so
right.
I will beat what he does, basically. if he doesn't press a button, I get to do a heavy attack and then sort of build my frame advantage or build my white life.
Yeah, all right, that makes a lot of sense. So,
So this scenario, kind of it gets right on the scissor kick there
yeah,
by jumping. So if the Rashid does the whirlwind there, and you've got V gauge, it's a pretty good idea to V reversal because he can't really use much of the V trigger that he just spent to do that.
yeah, right. Cool. So you used EX stomp there to get
Yeah.
out, but that's because he was further away. He wasn't pushing you with buttons.
Yeah, so
Or-
there's a bit of a mind game behind that. I can explain, and it comes around to what beats what. And you saw before that he did the heavy spinning mixer to beat my EX Devil's Reverse, right?
yeah,
So I know he's going to look for that because it wins.
Yeah.
So he's looking for it, and since he's looking for it, he's like doing the motion whenever I do EX head stomp. So I just let
Yeah.
EX head stomp go, and he gets hit because he's crouching and doing the motion for the late spinning mixer.
yeah, right.
And if it's blocked, I just get my space back.
Yeah. Oh, crouching like punch anti-airs.
Yep, it's still good, but it depends on the spacing.
Right.
I tried to be a little bit greedy after that and pressed the button, and he pressed a heavy button which crush countered me.
Yeah.
So in that case, I just wanted to reset to the neutral. So I used the EX head stomp just to like get over him. Used the meter, now I'm back into the neutral where I'm controlling the match, and I've got like a gigantic life lead. So
Yeah.
he needs to take like, he'll just run into my city kick like that. So I saw for that last 4 seconds of the match, he kept doing the same kind of like tentative approach where he'd like hope dash into him. That's a thing that a lot of people do. They see someone dash up, so they dash into them, which is like not very good. Especially as Bison, I'm not going to dash into you when you've just dashed at me because my dash is really slow. So you have all the time in the world to stop me. But scissor kick, as I was talking before, that is not a really reactable option to block in neutral. So when you reach my scissor kick range, if you're damn, it didn't ready up. Oh, there we go. Cool.
Oh, no, you did.
So
Just in
if
time.
you reach my scissor kick range and you're holding, then you're gonna get hit, right? And that does damage, and it gives me an in.
Yeah. Right on. So,
So if I predict a dash or I predict forward movement, scissor kick is really good.
okay. I mean, and you're using the light scissor kick, correct?
That time was actually the medium because
Oh,
of the spacing
goes
he was
further.
standing at. Also,
Mm.
medium is slightly safer.
Yeah, right.
My medium
So-
scissor kick is -3, heavy scissor kick's -2. But the problem with heavy scissor kick is the startup's really bad.
Right.
Well, it's not really bad, it's just slow, right? So chances are that he will do something, I'll do heavy scissor kick, but he'll still block. And then I'm -2 in front of his face, which is not what I want to do. If I do the medium scissor kick or I do the light scissor kick, if I space it correctly, I'm not even next to him, block. So he doesn't really have a recourse.
Bow down before my sight. Round one.
No, that makes a lot of sense.
Fight.
And
Yeah,
again,
so-
it's that spacing it where it leaves you at a good spot afterwards, right?
Yeah. So this match is a bit of a strange one because you have to test your opponent a lot.
Yeah.
Like, Manat is a very strong defensive character, and I think she's a very good character in general in this season.
Yeah.
A lot of the weaknesses to her got removed, like throw loops and pressure and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
she can kind of like stay up and standing a lot more. So in this case, I don't want to take that V trigger. I'll knock her off, and she's already wasted 2 orbs. Oh, she's wasted the
Yeah.
majority of her orbs, so there's like no risk anymore to getting
Yeah,
hit.
right.
So So there's a bit of a danger here that I can get hit by super. I thought,
Yeah.
but because he chose to do something else, couldn't do super anymore, I got in.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So there was a time where you jumped like 3 times in a row just into that anti-air.
Yeah.
Was
So I'm trying to like put the thought in his head to watch anti-airs, right?
Yeah.
So it kind of like changes his approach to the match because he knows that like he can't poke because if he pokes, I could potentially jump. And Manat's a character that doesn't have like super good like anti-airs when she has already done something because all of her moves are quite long. For example, the stand medium punch, the animation on. So if I jump and she did stand medium, he's guaranteed to have to block or get hit. So in that case, like the approach to Manat is you have to take like a calculated approach on how you want to train your opponent to look for certain options. You don't want to be jumping around like a man, but you want to show that you will jump and make sure that they know that that's an option you'll go to, right? And you have to get a feel of like what they like to press after they do something. So like I did a +2 Devil's Reverse there and he got hit. So it kind of says to me he's trying to press like a light kick after I attack him. And he's also pressing like medium punches in succession. So like if he does that, I can get a jump, right? So I was able to get in because he did stand heavy punch, stand medium punch. And if I jump there, the best he can hope for is to block.
Yeah.
Oh, I screwed up the combo. Yeah. That move's also very bad on block. The slide, unless you space it correctly.
Even on hit, it's minus anyway.
Spacing of it can make it plus.
Right, yeah.
Even on block, actually. So if she slides from the max range, it's plus. I actually played a bit of Manat when the character came out just to understand it. I feel like that's like a good thing to do to understand a character is play them a bunch, see how they play, understand their options.
Yeah.
Oops.
Against like Bison, I imagine he can almost punish it in its startup, really, right? That move.
Which one?
The slide.
Yes, but it's
If
also
it's
kind of a
at
low
max
profile
range.
move.
Yeah.
So in that situation, I did a slide, but it was on the tip, so the maximum he could have got was a light punch. It's not really like a concern to me. Because if it works, then you know I'm in. If it doesn't work, I get hit for like a little bit of damage. It's kind of like risk mitigation. Like here, he's got his V trigger active, but it did absolutely nothing because I was just on the other side of the screen blocking. So it's like a waste of a V trigger. He's trying to chip me out just based off the ball. It's not going to be enough because I used one opportunity to get in and damage, and I know that I've lost my turn after the throw, so I'd back off, let him do his thing. If he's trying to kill me with explosions, it's going to take the entire timer, and he needs to attack me.
Yeah.
And because he attacks me, he runs into my scissor kick. And then I land a Sacred Crusher. So
I was waiting for that the entire time. I was like, he's doing ball explosion. When Cyclo Crusher?
yeah. A lot of experienced players or anti players will consider that ball explosion as like, oh my god, I need to do something. But if you saw my life lead, you understand the character of Manat. That's a really bad position for him to be doing that. Like, it doesn't achieve anything because I get a little bit of block damage, but it's never going to kill me in time.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
So-
that's really good.
It's about understanding the character you're fighting and understanding your options of what they are against that character and understanding how that character works. So Manat is really strong when she has V-Trigger. It's insanely strong because she gets to force her will on you, right? Like she gets to do all these mix-ups, she gets to go for resets, etc., right? But as a core character, that's what she kind of needs to close out the match. If she's behind, your only chance that you have is when you've got V-Trigger. Once you run out of V trigger and you're not attacking, it doesn't matter what you do from the other side of the screen. Even if you build super bar, right? There's no incentive for the opponent to do anything.
Yeah, no, that does make a lot of sense. Like, and that's something we've talked about before is playing your life lead. Just if you have that life lead and you're playing a character like that, or even any character, feel free to sit back and let them make the mistakes. That the pressure is on them to make the move.
Yeah, so you'll see a lot of like professional level players, people in the CPT, who won't just like attempt to just steamroll their opponent every time. They'll be like, well, okay, I've done my thing. I should wait and see what options they're going to take. And there's even some value in like not doing a block string, right? Like just seeing what your opponent's willing to press.
No, that's something I've talked about as well. Is one of my favorite things to do when I'm playing Akuma is to usually I'll do like crouching medium punch, standing medium kick, fireball, but just not doing the fireball at times.
Yeah,
just to see what they do. You can like get a whiff punish or something like that.
Yeah, so that in that scenario where you land the head stomp, you want to convert into your medium attacks. Also, like, I was negative then, but I dashed up. just because you like didn't do anything.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah. So in that situation, work up with light punch because I saw you dash after sweep. It's very hard for you to get a meaty there.
Round 2. Fight.
So that was a good delay, but need the crouch medium punch there. Need the combo.
Crouch medium punch, right? So, as I said this before, one of my problems is I will always dash when I have a plus frame.
Yeah.
Like heavy punch. Oh, we're living, boys. No worries.
How's Bison's anti-air against Nikali's dive kick?
It's actually very good, because the crouch heavy punch covers like an entire range. The main problem is that you can't poke as Bison and then anti-air. So say if he were to do something like jump at me or poke, and then I could just jump at him. But see, crouch fierce is reliable if he does it like on reaction. So in this case, I'm infused with the psycho power, but I want to just block, like, and just ride out that entire sequence. And you got a jab and you dashed up, so punish it. Yeah.
I did critical out. Damn. Oh well.
Nikali wins.
So it's to know when you should stop doing things and when you get a feel of the opponent and let them kind of like show you what they're willing to do.
Yeah, right.
Can you guys do me a favor after this match maybe? I just want the Devil's Reverse to be explained.
Sure.
The differences between non-EX and EX, and even the V-Trigger 1 version. It's just not changed in V-Trigger 2, is it?
No. No change.
And then we might wind it up afterwards.
Sure.
Because this room I'm in right now was steam cleaned today, and it is humid in here.
So generally the philosophy I use for Bison can apply to like a lot of characters. Akali's one of them as well, right? Like he has a command grab, but he's also got like really good plus buttons. And in this scenario, you've activated V-Trigger, and I'm just kind of like waiting. And then I land a jump in. Because you walked up with medium punch, and then you weren't able to anti-air anymore.
Yeah, right.
Round 2. Fight.
Yep, so that's a good challenge. It stops me from jumping.
while we're here, Nikali's V skill. How do you
Yep.
like? What's your game plan with his V skill? Do you just let him keep doing it and wait for the perfect window to punish, or?
So it depends. Technically, it's unreactable. So you kind of have to read it. If you let him do it, then he builds V gauge. You don't want to let him do
A
it.
lot of V gauge.
But it's a big risk for him to do it
Oops. Oops.
because you can actually land a jump in. So you got to consider it like a fireball, basically. So it's Nikali's fireball, and it has it obeys the same kind of rules as the fireball, right? Except for the fact he's not more plus. So generally a fireball thrown from full screen, if you block it full screen, the fireball character gets to dash up and they get like a pretty big frame advantage, right? Because you've just blocked something that left them a while ago. But with Nikali, it's always going to be -1. So
Yeah,
blocking
right.
it doesn't mean that he gets to get in on you. So that's important to understand, that blocking it doesn't mean he's winning. He builds V gauge, but he also took a big risk. So if you read that V skill, you could have jumped and got a full punish, right? The problem with reading it is he's got a DP, right? It's reliable DP. That's if your opponent's reactions are good. So they will actually anti you if you just jump to raw. A lot of characters have anti-fireball moves that work against Nikali. For example, like if I'm going to fight Nikali and I think EX Stomp, I think he's going to V skill, I will EX Stomp. Because the EX Stomp is projectile invincible. It can be like, it can punish him for doing it and I get in off for that.
Yeah, right.
The best option is generally to just be closer to him. Or be in a range where it's a risk for him to do it, and it kind of de-incentivizes him to do it.
I guess that makes sense as well.
Same as Birdie can, right? Like Birdie can from full screen only loses to very few things, right? So it's kind of safe for him to do. You want to fight Birdie up close, so anytime he does a can, you get a guaranteed punch.
Round 1. Fight.
Yeah, so to explain the Devil's Reverses, right? So one of the main reasons why I like this move is it's very variable. So it doesn't matter what stomp you pick, right? If you pick light, medium, or heavy, doesn't change anything. Doesn't change your frame data or whatever. But the button you pick changes a little bit of the angle. Well, I guess that's it changes your trajectory. For example,
the different.
Like this is the heavy punch version, right? It goes a little bit further. The light punch version is on the other side of the screen, right? So this one is over here. That's the light punch version. Heavy punch version is like a little bit further in front, right? So it's not like super noticeable, but it is noticeable. What you can do with this move is it can act as a functional dive kick. Characters can have difficulty with it because maybe they're anti-air, maybe they did it too quick, right? So this timing that I'm doing it at is actually very bad because it's probably not going to even hit you, or it's very slow. Like if you do yours, I can do crouch heavy, right? Like reliably, right? And I don't need to really, so you see there where you delayed it. So I want you to try against this one. Crouch heavy might not be the best option to show. Oh yeah, see, like you did crouch heavy, but I'm like whiffing above. In that case, I did the heavy punch, Devil's Reverse. As I was talking to before, I went in front of your anti-air. So your anti-air doesn't work at that angle.
Round 2.
Yeah, right.
Fight.
Yeah. So, but if you're like at the proper angle, you can get it. Or if you're doing the proper reaction, you can hit him out. So this normal Devil's Reverse is not like, I wouldn't say it's difficult to anti-air at all. And you generally won't see Bison players use it a lot, right? Only when they feel like they can sneak it in. Like that. For example, you went to anti-air, but I delayed my Devil's Reverse so it would fall on you. And you can't really do that against a DP character like a Guile or a Nikali, because the DP would just 100% blow you out of the air, right? but you can do it against like a Bison or a Karen or a Alex, characters with normal anti-airs. You could delay it, especially if they're like pressing the wrong buttons, and like that, like I knocked you down, I got a setup, right? So you might not anti-air, in which case I could like, if you didn't anti-air, I get in a +2. Yeah. So a lot of people don't like that when they face a move like this, that there's no 100% option. Because they think they're like, if I do my anti-air, I will win 100% of. It's not correct. The thing about V-Trigger Devil's Reverse is it will always cross up. Right?
Oh, always?
Unless I do, yeah, it will always cross up. Except for one scenario. If you come with me to the corner. I'll show you quickly. So you stand there. I ran out of V-Trigger. I'll show you in the next round. Yep. So V-Trigger Devil's Reverse will always cross. Characters have answers to anti-air it, but it's good in some scenarios, right? Like, a lot of these options are very good if someone's being over-aggressive, right? Like, if you're jumping against me and you're always like just holding up, I can like hit you out of the air with Devil's Reverse, right? And then I can get a combo. So I'll show you an example of a combo. Go in the corner. Like something I can do is this into Scissor Kick, right? Or I can do like, sorry, didn't mean to use the meter. I can do that into Blast, if it counter hits only. But if I land it, if you block this, I'm +2, right? So block this and then try to Light Punch. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So for all intents and purposes, functional dive kick, right? To explain the Devil's Reverse one, stop pressing button. Sorry. So I have a head stomp option, and the head stomp is actually +1 on block, right? So if you block it, don't think that you can attack. In the corner, if you're go back in the corner. So if I stand here and then I do it, I think you're like walking out of the corner. That's why it's not working. But it can actually cross. It can stay in the front in the corner.
Yeah.
And that's the scenario where it doesn't cross up. But generally, it crosses up. So I'll talk about EX Devil's Reverse, which is the one that everyone hates. So EX Devil's Reverse is a very has a lot of options, and they've kind of nerfed a lot of in AE compared to say Season 1. Season 1 was the best version of Devil's Reverse that ever was.
Yeah.
But Bison was so bad that no one cared. Right?
Yeah, right.
Also, that game was just ridiculous. You didn't need anti-air in Season 1. Right? Like, you were guaranteed to win if you press a Light Punch in Season 1. Whereas in Season 2, they nerfed some of the egregious anti-airs like Chun-Li. Chun-Li stand light kick, so she had significant more trouble against the Devil's Reverse. So I'll just build some meter and I'll show you. I could talk about the EX Devil's Reverse for a very long time. There are some characters that have guaranteed options against the EX Devil's Reverse. Just keep blocking this. Bison is not one of these characters, right? So you would think that like I hate fighting other Bisons because, oh my god, Devil's Reverse, I don't have a 100% answer. But it's actually not true. I know my options depending on where I am on the screen, right? Yeah. So if I'm here and you choose the Devil's Reverse, it's a very wasted Devil's Reverse, right? Like, I can easily escape this situation. I can like jump back, I can move, I can dash forward under it. I can do a lot of stuff, right? But if I'm here, then your reactions become, like, your options become different, and you will struggle to have an option that will win every time. Unless you're a certain character, like characters like Balrog and Birdie, they have very good anti-airs, but you can still have options against those characters as Bison, right? So even though they have good anti-airs, it doesn't mean they will always win. For an example of like, I want you to try to like anti-air after I do the EX Devil's Reverse one time, right? So after you see me do EX Devil's Reverse, press the button, right? You got one try. Okay?
So
right.
After.
Oh. Yep.
Sorry, out of time.
Yep.
Right.
I'll build the meter again and we'll try again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
After you do it,
So I'm not going to tell you when I'm going to do EX Devil's Reverse, right?
Yeah.
I just want you to press your anti-air button when you see me do it. Yeah?
Right.
Yeah. So in that case, since I'm doing it early, your anti-air actually works, right?
Yeah.
Because I've done it and I've wasted my invincibility frames. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll do that again. Also, Bison's crouch heavy punch is like pretty good for reaching angles above him. Not every anti-air is like that as well. So, yeah, try to anti-air when you see this one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you understand what happened?
Yeah. You did the stomp.
Yep.
Faster.
So you can't know if I'm going to do the stomp or if I'm going to do the Devil's Reverse. And the people will think like the Devil's Reverse is worse to block, but if I hit you with the stomp, you got hit for a chunk of damage and I get a setup, right? So thinking that you might have shut down my EX Devil's Reverse by anti-airing correctly, you've opened up another option.
Dashing. Dashing the
Yep.
EX Devil's Reverse, I
Yeah,
find there's a
so,
lot of auto tracking.
Yeah, so LLL, do the... I want you to do a Devil's Reverse. One.
Bison wins.
I'll
That's okay,
show you what I mean.
That's right.
I want you to
just,
do it, yeah?
you can just explain it because I think we've. Oh, it is one.
We'll
Okay,
just do
sorry.
this one thing, right?
I thought it was the end
So
of
I
the
want
set.
you to do EX Devil's Reverse when you're in proximity of me, right? Like, do it slightly above my head.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'll show you what I mean by dashing.
EX double, right?
EX Devil's Reverse, not stomp.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So just build up some meter. Stand heavy punch, heavy blast builds the most meter. So as I was talking about, this is something for you personally. When you do a move, you want to be holding back during the startup of that move, right? So you've got enough charge to then do the charge move, right?
So if I'm not pressing anything now. Like, I'm not pulling back or forward. I can just press heavy punch and as I
Oh,
press
no. So if you're not holding back when you press heavy punch, you will not have charge.
So I'm holding down and I'm going to press back and heavy punch.
Yep.
Except I jump.
You gotta stand, yep, there,
Oh, yeah.
like that, right? So you can kind of like preempt your charge a bit and know when you got charge. Like, if I press light punch, heavy punch, I'm 100% gonna have charge, yeah. But anyway, so I want you to do like medium punch into EX Devil's Reverse and then EX Head Stomp and Devil's Reverse, do that.
Yeah.
So cancel it. See, I'm on the other side, I would have got a punish.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's an option against EX Devil's Reverse. But I want you to do the same thing, right? Dash under when I do it. When I do it, yeah.
Oh, when you do it. Yes,
Yeah.
sorry.
So when I do EX Devil's Reverse, I want you to dash.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that comes back to the same thing, right?
Yeah.
There are a lot of options, as I did against Kaysera.
Yeah.
Like, I knew that he would do Rashid's spinning mixer as an anti-air option that 100% will beat Devil's Reverse, and I have no way out of that, right? He's looking for it, so I get to do EX Head Stomp.
Yeah, right. And
Yeah.
this comes down to that whole thing that you were saying before. It's watching, seeing what they're doing, how they're reacting to what you're doing.
Yeah. So I want you to do EX Devil's Reverse from against me.
From full screen.
So just go for it. Look at the, like, nothing happened there. I just did jump back light punch. If you had directed it to me, my light punch would have won.
Yeah, right.
And you just wasted a meter, nothing happened.
Yeah.
So I'll do the same thing. I want you to, on reaction to the activation of my Devil's Reverse part, jump back. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't direct it at you that time. I
Yeah.
kind of held back on it. I'll just build a little bit meter and we'll do that again.
Yeah.
So that's like a full screen option, right? Like, if Bison players are throwing out EX Devil's Scream like some do, you have some options. I'm going to do it now. The thing is, here it's a little bit dangerous because you're in the corner, but it should also guarantee if you time your jump back correctly, you should win. If I'm trying to Devil's Reverse. So that's the caveat, right? So I'll do it and I'll activate it. See?
Oh wow.
Kind of hit. Now, without making this like an hour-long stream about, I know I've done that to beat you.
Yeah.
So that's the thing that makes people frustrated about the move, is that if someone's good with the move, you cannot 100% win every scenario.
Time over. And Bison wins.
Because they can mix it up.
You have to pick when you want to challenge. So who has a really good against EX Devil's Reverse, I know how to use it against Birdie.
Yeah, right.
I feel that it's very appropriate that the game informed us that M Bison does win.
So as a final wrap up of like my thoughts about the character, and
Before you do it, I want El to put his microphone closer to his mouth.
okay.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah, so that when he does respond to your song, that we can hear him. Go for it, Som.
All right. So as a general statement to anyone who's learning Bison, including you, I'd say if you want to learn Bison, you need to know how to stop people from dashing, and you need to know how to stop people from jumping. And how you stop people from jumping is you've got your jump medium punch, anti-air. You've got your crouch heavy punch, anti-air. You've got crouch light punch, which is situationally good. You've also got EX head stomp, which can be an anti-air, right? Knowing when to use these options makes Bison strong. If you get jumped in on in this game, it's like game ending sometimes, right? Like, you do not want to give people a chance to start offense on you, because offense is so strong in this game. So it's core aspect of Bison is anti-airing. And then that's like a very difficult thing for some people, because they're used to picking characters like, say, Birdie or Cammy that have like an answer all anti-air, that they can just be like, oh, I can just press this and I'm out of a situation. Bison, you need to be aware of what anti-airs you should pick and when you should do them. Very important to optimize your combos, right? So know when you should do what combo and what situation, what ender, and the setup afterwards as well. And your V trigger for Bison is, I think they're both equally good. I think V trigger 1 is good if you want a burst damage comeback. V trigger 2 is very good in a match where you want to get in against a zoning character, because Psycho Crusher goes through fireballs. So if I play against a Guile, for example, and he does a Sonic Boom, and I've got Psycho Crusher, I can just Psycho Crusher through and hit him, and it's that fast. So they're both variable and they both have uses. So you can just play whichever one, which is great because it adds personality to the character. Like if you're a V Trigger 2 Bison, you know, you can make that your thing. What else? So frame data is important. I wouldn't say you need to memorize everyone's frame data, but it's something you should have as just a understanding of fighting games in general. If you start learning how to understand frame data, how to understand like distances and something being safe on block, even though it's negative, right? Even though technically you could punish it, if you know the range where you can make it safe, you bait people into making mistakes, right? So I'm not expecting anyone to pick up Bison and just win straight away. The character does need a bit of knowledge, especially at higher level. So when you see someone like Problem X play, there's a lot of intricate stuff in his gameplay that you might not have seen until you understand, like, he's doing this because of that, and he's doing this because of that. Everything kind of has a purpose and winds up into one big game. Like, every jump you do is to try to trade your opponent to look for something, you know? If you land a dash in, it's because the opponent was looking so hard for something else, or they were worried about something else, that the dash actually worked. If you're landing like 100 dash-ins, it's just on your opponent that they were bad enough for that to work, right? But if you land like a dash at a high-level opponent, it means that they were completely looking for something else, and that's like something you've trained them to do, right? Like, Bison's very rewarding in the way that, like, if you get on a roll with the character, you can just like dominate the opponent. And it's something that the character design is meant to do, and it's meant to give your opponent a feeling of fear, being oppressed when they're on defense, right? Like, no one wants to be next to Bison, and that kind of plays into your game plan when you're attacking them, right? If no one
Yeah.
wants to be next to you, what are they going to do? They're going to press button. Wait, they're going to do all these kind of things. And you can kind of take advantage of that fear and keep the game rolling.
Yeah, that's exactly why I want to play Bison, because he's just so goddamn scary when he's close with all those big buttons and options he has.
And
Yeah.
Lachlan wants to be scary.
I do want to be scary. That's why I went to the gym one time.
Well, here's the thing as well. It's a character that isn't inherently the best in the game, and there's nothing about his tools that I would say are like cheaper than other characters' tools, right? Like he has some cheap
Yeah.
stuff, but
Everyone's
people
got cheap
hate
stuff.
him, right? People hate this character because they say they don't understand it, but
Yeah,
you know, its core gameplay is just a lot of it is just Street Fighter, right? Like a lot of it is just understanding of fighting games when you pick Bison.
Right.
So if you're struggling against the character, maybe it's not so much a character, maybe it's the player that you're struggling against, and understanding what options you should be picking against the player. If you just don't understand a move like Devil's Reverse, you should use training mode because it's there for you, right? Or you should ask a Bison player, right? And sometimes you should just accept that, like, there's no 100% answer to some situations, right? Like, you can't seal away an opponent's tool in this game completely. You can't say they will never be able to use this because I have this, because someone will find a way to use it, and it will frustrate you.
Yeah. I guess that's one of the fun things about fighting. It's all up in the air. A lot of things.
Is L cutting out? Hello?
I think it was a little bit far from the mic.
silly. But the point is, that's why fighting games are fun. Nothing's ever going to be 100% cut out, because then what's the point in using it? What's the point in having that in
Yeah.
the game? So there's
Well-
always going to be reasons to
That
use
kind
it.
of reminds me of a little bit of a thing that I see a lot of. It's kind of an annoyance. Someone who's been around in these broken games like Third Strike, right? Like I played Alex, Q, and Remy. Those characters
Yeah.
aren't really in that game, right? Like they are if it's first to one, because you
Yeah.
know anyone can win in a first to one. If you're playing against
Yeah.
Chun-Li, you're playing against Yun. It's bad times if you're playing long sets. Like it's a lot of money you're gonna lose, right?
Yeah.
I went on Street Fighter 4 and I played a Bison consistently, and my worst match was in that game. It was Guile, right? Like actually
Yeah.
horrible match, horrible.
Yeah.
As someone who's experienced the worst matchups in fighting games, there is nothing like that in Street Fighter 5.
Yeah.
If you say that the character is the reason why you can't use your character, often that's not the case, right? Like unless you're like a grandmaster, you're a master, you're infiltration level, it's not about the character. It's maybe your understanding of the options you're doing, right? Like if you're a gold player and you're trying to beat an ultra diamond, you're trying to be like a master. I'm just using these ranks as a, like a sort of a loose way to tell skill, right?
Yeah.
The problem is not the character. It's your understanding of your character and your options, right? And the opponent is adapting to you. So you need to always consider that, right? I know that there are some matches that just don't feel good to play, but there's
Yeah.
not that many of them. And the way the game is designed is if you get on your guess right, like say Birdie versus Guile, right? Like, oh, it seems so tough for Birdie. And then he knocks Guile down twice and he wins the game, right? Same as Geef as well, right? Like, there's a lot of skill in the character controlling the match. And if you make the right reads, you can actually like still win. So don't just break it down to like, oh, my character's garbage against that character. You have to think of all your options, right? And if it's really that bad and you really can't win, there's always, all this other characters in the roster, right?
Yeah. No, definitely. This comes back down to finding that character that you have fun playing.
Yeah.
It's not about which character's the best. It's the character you have fun playing.
Yeah, well, sorry, I'm going on a bit of a rant, but the last thing that I say, Season 1, I didn't like the game at all, right? I was playing Nikali, and Nikali was pretty strong in Season 1, but I still didn't like how he played. I settled on Bison because I liked his playstyle. he was actually the
Yeah.
worst character in the game.
Yeah.
Up, down there with Fang, but even Fang had more tournament success than Bison did in season 1, right?
Yeah.
I still stuck him out. I still learned the game, and I still learned how to play, even though I was losing to all these Chun players. Like, that was a terrible match back in season 1. I still worked it out, and I still won the Cash Warriors Rambat season 1 in that season against a Chun-Li player, right?
Yeah.
So because I liked my character, I stuck with the game, and now my character's, you know, a very competitive level, and it's kind of like all my hard work has paid off, right? So
Yeah.
if you really like a character and it's the reason why you play the game, don't swap your character because you're not getting good results. Just keep working at it. If you're a competitive player, right, and your goal is to win, and you kind of really want the wins, then you can have the character you like, and also the character that supports that character, allows you to play that character.
That's a really good way of putting it, having a secondary for that reason. So I like that. I like that.
Yeah, well,
Alright.
for example, like I play a bunch of characters like Guile and Nikali, right?
Yeah.
If there was a horrible match in the game, I could pick one of them.
That's seems like a very good way to pick a secondary.
It's
Alright,
shill
Sam, I
time,
think-
L. Shill time.
Yeah, that's exactly it. You always catch me just before I start.
I just
So-
like it, just like a Bison crush counter.
All right, so thank you very much, Som. Where can we find information about you?
So I'm on Twitter. I'm pretty active on that. At
Yeah.
Somniacs with an S at the end, so Somniac S.
We should
Uh,
mention ViewSonic Dark-Sided.
So
Somniac.
that's not actually my Twitter handle, but
No.
that's the team that I am sponsored by, and I really like all the things they're doing for the fighting game community. Not just me. Like, they come out to events, they give people free drinks, they support the events. ViewSonic as well is a big supporter of events in Melbourne and Sydney, like all the monitors at local meetups of ViewSonic. So they've been doing really great things for the community for a long time now. So I really appreciate the stuff they do for me and my team and the community.
Yep.
So if you want to follow Darksided, on give it a shot. I'm regularly in the Gfinity tournaments every week, and also Team WP tournaments. So and a really great thing about Team WP's tournaments is they actually have a stream, so you can see what people are playing as, and see how
that's
the matches
exactly
go.
it.
Yeah.
We do a lot of streams with Team WP. We do the Friday night fights. We do the
Fledgling's
fledglings
back.
on Wednesday.
Wednesday
yeah,
night,
Fledglings is back. Get in on
Sign-
that.
Sign up at 8 o'clock for Fledgling on Wednesday, 8:30 start. Friday night fights on at same times, 8 o'clock sign in, and 8:30 start on Fridays.
Yeah, and and if you do want to find more information about Team WP, join us on Discord. Come say hello there. Follow us on Twitter. You can find us on YouTube. Do go to YouTube. You can see all the replays of all the previous LP4U episodes, where you can find all the tournament replays. Go over there, click the subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything. And you'll get a lot of Team WP stuff. Also, we've got our Team WP website. Check that out. It's got all the information about all our sponsored players, about what we do, what we like. It also has a calendar, so you can see all the events that are coming up, including the fledglings, including the Friday night fights, and a lot of local things like CCH, if you're in Melbourne, and that type of stuff. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching and tuning in. I'm LOL. We've got Polydukes.
Thank you.
Thank you
for
so
joining
much,
us.
Sam.
No worries. It's my pleasure.
All right. Good night, everyone.